And we're back with our IHSA regionals cross-country races. We are just about at the start of the boys' race. I am also here with Kinsley Seaton, one of our cross-country runners for Taylorville that has just finished her race. She's going to help me with play-by-play for this boys' race today. Alright, on your marks. And there they go. Alright, looks like Liam Bettis of Taylorville is in first, closely followed by Civic Memorial. Alright, I'm Rayleigh Aller. I'm a senior at Taylorville High School, reporting with Tommy TV, and I'm here with Kinsley Seaton. Kinsley, can you tell us how your race was, how you felt about it, especially with this cold weather today?
The cold kind of helped a little bit, but it also kind of hurt my throat, but yeah.
Yeah, I really figured with my past cross country, I kind of figured with cold weather it probably felt pretty nice, but we've definitely ran at colder temperatures. So yeah. And there we see Liam Bettis and the Civic Memorial runner almost running hand in hand. It'll be interesting to see if they keep that up for the race or if there's distance that grows between them. Again, Kinsley, correct me if it's wrong. If I'm wrong, is the first 5 teams, and then how many runners if they're not on one of those teams? Advanced sectionals.
The first 6 teams, and then the 5 individual runners. So Taylorville's looking pretty good with Civic Memorial closely behind.
Yeah, we see those first 2 runners have a pretty big gap, and the rest seem pretty clustered together here as they're closely in on that first half mile. It's interesting to see just how much faster the boys' runners are than the girls, just built off that muscle mass difference.
I think that is Max Weber, who's closely behind Liam Bettis.
That's interesting. Alright, and the mass of our runners are just now crossing that half-mile mark.
And Liam Bettis is still ahead of Max Weber, and Max Weber is ranked first in 2A Illinois, while Liam Bettis is ranked 6th, so we'll see if he keeps this up.
Alright, and just a reminder for the teams that we have racing today, we have Alton Marquis, Bethalto Civic Memorial, Chatham Glenwood, Highland, Jacksonville, Jerseyville, Lincoln, Rochester, Springfield, Springfield Lamphere, Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, Springfield Southeast, and your Taylorville Tornadoes. So Kinsley, going into the season, what kind of preparation did the team do?
We had a lot of mileage and speed workouts, but yeah.
How do you think that translated doing the sectional race, and is there anything the guys did different going into their race?
The boys trained really hard over the summer. I think they ran like mostly like 2 times a day and also lifted.
Oh my goodness. Definitely lots of hard work that goes into this sport.
They just hit the first mile at 4:41.
It's impressive just to see how fast they can run those 1 miles. And still looks like we do have a pretty close clustering for the rest of the boys as Liam
Max Weber.
and Max Weber do still hold on to that pretty strong lead in front of the crowd. It's kind of hard to say from here, but I'd say they have at least about a 200-meter lead on the rest of the runners. Pretty interesting to see. All right, and just a reminder for everyone, like Kingsley said, the first 6 teams, correct?
Yes.
And the 5 runners after that will be advancing to sectionals, which is held in Mattoon at Lakeland College next Saturday, November 1st. Might be interesting, especially with Lakeland just opening up their cross-country program again this year. I know we have a Taylorville student, Sydney Vokes, that went there to run with them. So it'll be interesting maybe if any of our runners or any of the other runners in the race today would consider going to Lakeland, especially after running their course. It looks almost as if they're running, pacing with each other right now because they are still just arm in arm. It's very close.
This is them approaching the halfway point, but Liam looks a little bit more relaxed than Max.
It'll be interesting to see if Max wants to hold the title or if Liam wants to achieve the title more, see who ends up fighting for it.
It'll be a fun finish to watch.
Absolutely. Alright, and that gap that we had at the beginning, I said it was about 200 meters, has advanced of about 400, I would say, between our first 2 and the rest of the pack leading behind them. They have just finished their first loop of their course. They'll have 1 more, and they'll come back for their last 800 to finish out. And like we've been saying this whole time, it will definitely be an interesting race between those first 2 place runners to see who can kick the hardest at that finish if they keep continuing to pace with each other.
Bethelo seems pretty packed up in the front. They're running close together.
We talked to Brody Harker before whenever we weren't streaming quite yet for this boys race, and he said that some tend to do a tactical running method for this race since they have sectionals next week. Kinsley, do you know why they would do something like that as a runner?
Taylorville is in a really good spot, so they're definitely going to make sectionals. So I don't think they're going to expend extra energy, like more than needed, before the big race next Saturday, because sectionals is a little bit more important. They are already past the 2 mile, so they have a little bit less than a mile left to go.
Yeah, we're right at that 10-minute mark right now, and like Kinsley said, they only have a mile left of their race, so it'll be interesting to see what that final time looks like. And it does look like Liam is about a stride ahead of Max currently.
I can hear Coach.
Yeah, as you can hear the crowd, we're about halfway across the course from everybody, but we could still just hear the cheers roaring out for these runners at your regional race.
Liam Bettis' PR for 3 miles is 14:22, while Max Weber's PR is 14:28. So that will be close.
Yes, it will, I think, just be a kicking race at the end just to see.
Yeah. The next fastest time in this race is a 15:17. That's like a 40-second lead.
Yes, that does explain that big gap we're seeing between
Yeah.
those first two and our second group of runners.
And that is Joshua from Highland. Logan Halligan follows closely behind him with a 15:23 PR.
It is interesting to see. Kinsley has the stats pulled up right now, and you can see that Logan Halligan has a 15:23 flat, while Caleb from Highland has a 15:23.7. And in that top 5, we have 2 Taylorville runners and 2 Highland, and then of course Max Weber with Bethalto Civic Memorial. So it'll be interesting to see if that pans out again in this race, and it looks awfully promising for Taylorville if it does.
Max Weber seemed to have made a move and got a couple strides ahead of Liam Bettis.
Yeah, you do see a break that's starting to emerge now, a gap between the 2 runners. It'll be interesting to see if Liam can close that in time, or if Max will hold on to his lead when they come into this last little stretch of the race.
They have a little less than 800 meters to go.
Yeah, you can see now as they cross in front of us here from where we're watching, you do see that big gap. I'm not sure if Liam will have enough time to make up that gap. We sure do hope so.
Max Weber just lapped that guy. Here they come, the last straightaway. It's like about 200 meters.
So there you go. There, Max turns off onto that straightaway. Liam's right after him, about to turn.
200-meter race.
Liam's really got to kick on the gas and sprint if he wants to catch up to him, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities just yet. So you see Max looking back just to see how far of the gap is. it does look like your first place regional runner will be Max Weber from Bethalto Civic Memorial with a time about 14:30, and Liam not far behind him with a time of about 14:36. Now, like we said, we did have that big gap between the first two and the rest of our runners, but they are starting to come towards that last 200, like Kinsley said. That last straightaway isn't a very far distance, and we're starting to see some of our other runners closing that gap now. There's Logan Halligan from Taylorville.
He's
Guys
leading that pack.
right behind him. And he's pushing just to get that last bit of energy out at the end of his race.
Oh, he looks behind him.
And the crowds are just getting even louder as the race begins to complete, with our runners coming in. Times even closer than the girls' race. We had a little bit of a more distance with times between the first, I'd say, 20 runners for the girls than we do for the guys. It's interesting just to see the difference in that timing. All right, and there's our shot of our finish line with even more, like I said, runners coming in strong, finishing. It looks like we have another Taylorville about to cross that line right now.
I think that is David Schaefer.
Yeah, we see David Schaefer finishing that last, he's about 100 meters out, if that now, his senior year, finishing his last home race, and he has just crossed that finish line. All right, and I do believe we have seen most, if not all, of our Taylorville runners cross that finish line now, all under the 20-minute mark. And then Kinsley, for those at home that may not know, as we're watching the rest of these runners finishing strong, pushing through the rest end of that race, would you like to explain how scoring works across country and how they decide what the top 5 teams are?
Yeah, so first place runner scores 1 point for their team, and second place scores 2 points for their team, and then like so on. And the team with the lowest amount of points wins.
Yeah, so it's almost like a golf scoring.
Yeah. So you just don't want points. You want to beat as many people as you can.
Yes, that's why it's very vital that your runners stay as close together as they can, because that has less scores in between them. And you, of course, want to finish fast, but not to risk that for your team. You want to all finish fast and consistently. So pretty good sign that we saw all of our Taylorville, I believe all of our Taylorville runners cross that line before the 20-minute mark. We still have some teams finishing up now. I believe this is a Jersey runner. We can see finishing, pushing every last bit of that energy to that finish line. All right, now we have a majority of our runners that have finished the race. We do have a few still out on the course, majority of them on that last 200.
finish is like actually kind of a downhill, so that kind of helps.
That's true. We have a pretty all-over flat course here at Taylorville. We have some slight hills throughout the course, but all in all, a pretty nice run, especially for a regional race where you're really trying to focus on those times. Alright, and I'm here again, like I said earlier, with Kinsley Seaton, one of our very own cross-country Taylorville runners. Kinsley, what grade are you in, just so everyone at home knows?
I am a sophomore.
Yeah, so you've been running how long?
I ran track since 6th grade, but cross country since 7th grade.
Okay, so you definitely have a lot of experience going into that upperclassman years as your junior year and senior year coming up. How do you feel about that? Are you excited? Are you nervous?
I'm excited, but also kind of like scared because like I'll be like one of the older instead of
Yeah,
like,
there's
the
a lot
younger.
of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite race to run in cross country if you had to pick one?
I really like Detweiler at Dark or the Broadway Bolt in Mattoon.
Those are both very good races. Just to elaborate, Detweiler at Dark, that's in Peoria, correct?
Mhm.
And they, of course, at dark kind of gives you
Yeah.
a hint. It's a race that they run at night, usually have lots of music blaring and lights,
Mhm.
correct? Yes, it's a very fun race.
Yeah.
And then the Mattoon Dash, that one's held on a all pavement, correct?
Yeah. It's just mile down road, a mile around a park, a mile back.
Yes. And so the pavement roads, those are really fun. I was actually
Yeah.
explaining to someone before we were live that running on pavement's a lot almost easier because
Yeah.
everything you give into it gives right back
Yes.
into you. It's a little bit different than this course we have here, which is, I would say, 99.9% grass. So it's definitely a lot different.
Yeah.
All right. And what would you say is the most challenging course you tend to run?
Probably Springfield Lanphier.
Yes.
That one's
Yes,
hard.
absolutely.
That one's hard.
I would agree with that. There's we have rolling hills on that, a corkscrew hill, let alone running 3 miles is not typically an easy feat. So I definitely understand that. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Kinsley, about your
Yeah.
cross-country career. And thank you for
Yeah.
joining me for this play-by-play today. Again, we're reporting your IHSA Regionals boy race currently. We look like we are having our last few runners coming across that line now. I don't see too many more on the course. So shortly after that, we will have our awards assembly, and they will announce the top 6 teams and the 5 runners after that will be running in sectionals again next week at Mattoon at the Lakeland campus. You know, I was worried at the beginning of the boys' race. It looked like it was going to start raining for them almost as it was beginning to sprinkle here and there. But it looks like that's cleared up just a little bit, and it has warmed up from that beginning temperature. I think I said it was about 48 while you were running, and now is 57. So it's definitely started to warm up here and there. But the feel like is still at 48 degrees, so not too different.
Yeah, it was really cold, especially in the morning. But
so, speaking of this morning, how early did you guys get here? The start time was 10 o'clock. How much day of usually preparation goes into that?
well, we did a lot of the preparation yesterday after school. Like, we had to rake the course and like stuff like that. But Coach got here at 6 a.m. this morning to put up the cones and stuff. But the team, we got here at like 8:30.
Yeah, I just definitely appreciate Coach for all that hard work. I can't even imagine how cold it would have been at 6 a.m. I've got about 3 layers of shirts on right now, and Kinsley's all covered up with her gloves and her windbreaker. Oh my goodness. So I can't even imagine running a race in a tank top and shorts right now.
It was cold.
Oh, absolutely. Our Midwestern weather, you had said I actually had talked to you and Elena Harker before the race, and you guys had said that this is actually your first cooler race of the season, though, I believe. It's been really hot this year. How does that affect your season times, would you say?
I feel like this goes for everyone in the team, but like ever since the cold, our times have been like drastically improving, just because it's kind of a little bit easier to run in the cold than in like 90-degree heat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's almost like you can't feel that pain and everything. All right. Well, it sounds like we are about to conclude this race. I believe our last runner has crossed the line. That clock has finished, so they will start getting their official times done, and they'll be awarding our awards here soon. Kinsley has to run back to be able to be with her team during that assembly, so that's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your Saturday.
You're watching Tommy TV.